Hi. So in today's video, I'll be telling you guys about the different lessons that I've learned throughout my years of playing. Even though I still consider myself, I'm not a beginner player, but I still think there's a lot more that I have to learn. So many lessons that I still have that I can learn on court. But with the past few tournaments that I've played throughout my tennis journey, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about them. So I think the first tournament that I ever played was in the second grade. I was about 8 years old and I had just picked up tennis as a sport. So at this time, my coach told me that there's a friendly happening in school and Aishwarya, you should really participate in it. And I mean, at first I was extremely nerve-wracked because I'd never played such a sport before, let alone a match. I personally felt I wasn't ready back then, but my parents encouraged me to play. They said, Ishwara, this is a golden opportunity. You're such a young player right now. It'll be good for you to play, get a little experience on court. Even though I didn't know how to serve back then exactly, this was just a rally points game, I think around a 15 pointer or so. And it was my first ever experience on court, like playing a match with an entirely new opponent because I was so used to playing in my school and my academy. Anyway, there was the first round of this, and I begged my parents to come watch, but my school's a little far away, so they came in my second round. I'm proud to say that I won the first round, and I remember running back to my coach. He was keeping track of the scores and all, and the draw. And then I told him, I said, "Sir, look, like I won. I'll go into the second round. Like I've made the school proud and all." Because there were a lot of kids from different schools that had come. They were about my age, and they obviously, like, I respected them then also so deeply. Anyway, my coach was like, "Okay, Shvarya, like it's time for your second round now." And then he told me my second opponent. So when I played with my second opponent, she was much better than I was at the time, and I hadn't really like gained experience with a new person, playing someone who I wasn't used to playing with at the time. I lost that match, and I was left heartbroken, to be honest. My mom was sitting on the steps and she was clapping for me regardless of whether I was winning or not. But then I told her, I said, like, "Mom, I didn't win." And then she was like, "It's okay, you've got to keep going." And I think that was the first time I felt a little bit of a pinch, but then I also felt motivated to like continue playing. I remember like taking the entire experience in a positive way. My coach fist bumped me when I went back home, and then he's like, "It's okay. This is just the beginning. Like I'm so proud that you at least won a single match." And even though those words didn't do much consolation to me back then, they mean so much to me now because I've heard them so many times, and they're actually engraved in my mind. This is the mentality that I now choose to play with. So after that match, it was a clay court match, and it was also probably like the second or third time I was playing on the clay court, which was an entirely new experience altogether. Then after that, I told my mom that this is what I want to do. Like this is a hobby that I'm extremely passionate about. I used to swim also, as you can see behind here. Like I swam here. I used to go for Bharatnatyam classes. I used to do a lot of activities, but this one's the one that I really enjoyed. I started going 5 days a week. I had finished my homework quickly so that I could go to my tennis class. And I think the passion that I had that time was absolutely crazy. But I'm actually inspired by my young self now that I'm recollecting these memories. Anyway, the second tournament I had was probably in the third grade. This was in IIT Delhi, the Indian Institute of Technology. So I went and played here. It was a junior tournament. At this time, I remember I told my mom that I want to take an ice bucket with me. I want to fill it with energy drinks. And I think I wanted to feel like a professional, even though I wasn't at the time. But I went and played. I got knocked out in the first round only, and I blamed it all on the racket. Like I told my mom, I said, "This racket's not good enough. It's too small for me. The balls were wrong. There was too much heat." And like a few days later, I realized that I had blamed my entire game on external factors rather than internal. So this was one pro tip that I learned, that whenever you're playing, in case you lose a match, try to identify your own weaknesses and try to identify the reasons why you have lost, rather than blaming it on other people or other factors, because this can be a huge deal. Even in life, like when you play the blame game, it doesn't do you any justice. It doesn't help you out. So this is what I learned. Like, I started identifying my weaknesses in the midst of a match also. Then the most prominent memory I have is of the IBSO, the International Baccalaureate Sports Organization. So I played this in the 7th grade. I've played a lot of tournaments in the middle also, but like I'm just telling you guys about the prominent ones. So here I qualified till the quarterfinals for the first time ever. Like I played 3-4 rounds and I won all of them. So at this time, a funny incident is that like my school coach was there assisting me. Our entire school team was also there. Everyone was cheering each other on. But here I saw that like there's a world outside of my academy and my school also. It was so surreal to watch the types of players that were there. They were older than me, younger than me. I played in the under 14 category back then, and I mean the players were much better than me. And I mean, it gave me kind of a complex because I thought like, oh my god, I haven't trained as much for this. People take this extremely seriously. And then I went along, I played, but I was told by my coach that I'm too nice while playing. So this is the first time I learned that it's extremely important to be aggressive also in this game. Like you have to show your opponent that you're here to play, you know, you're here to win. You have to show them your grit, your passion. Like I remember there was this one round where my opponent actually started crying because I was winning. Like in the middle of the tournament only, she threw her racket on the floor and she went away. And I was extremely, like, I felt bad, which is not what a player is usually supposed to do. You don't feel bad for your opponents. But then I felt bad for her and I started losing a few points. I wouldn't say intentionally, but I think my subconscious just stepped in there. And then during the break, my coach took me aside and he's like, Aishwarya, what are you doing? Like, scream when you win a point. You've already put her under pressure, so you use that to your leverage. And I had the upper hand in the game, which is when I realized that you have to like scream, come on, and you have to be extremely passionate the entire time. You have to have the grit. So that's where I first learned that. I played a few doubles tournaments also there, and I learned how to like play with the partner. And the partner that I have, I now play with, like I've played with her for 4 or 5 years, which has been extremely fun also. Like doubles is an entirely different type of match setting. Then I played the nationals. This was the 65th SGFI school nationals only. When I played this, I realized that, you know, like I'm below a certain level and there's so much more that I have to learn. I played with a lot of professional players. They were state players. That was also extremely fun. I think I only won one match there. My dad took me to Pune to play, and I kind of disrespected him also. This is where I learned that, you know, maybe I should just keep tennis as a hobby, but as a hobby that I take very seriously. And it was just inspiring to see the players above me. I won't speak for long now. I think after that I went for another ISSO recently, the International Sports Organization, same only. But at this I went in the 10th grade. Here I won the runners-up tournament. I was the runner-up of the tournament with my partner. And here I think I had improved as a player, but this is obviously a long way to go. So this was in Jodhpur in Rajasthan, India. And it was extremely hot there. This was like another tip I learned, that, you know, regardless of the climatic conditions, you just have to stay your best. You have to play your best game. Every shot you play, you have to put your 101%, 150%, as much as you can put. And you know, you shouldn't leave the ball at any cost. Do your best at every point. I remember that I played like my longest match ever. At that time it was a 1-hour match or so. And I was exhausted to the point where I couldn't even walk after that match because I'd never played such a tournament. But then, you know, here's where I realized that endurance, stamina, how important all of these factors are, like what our coaches tell us every day. It's so important beyond the court also. When you go out for professional matches, you have to keep your cool also. If you're losing, if you're a game down, if you're a set down, then there's always a chance for a comeback. At this match, I was 2-love down set score, and I made it to 2-all. So I mean, that's where I think I was at my best. I've never played better than that. But yeah, these are some of the tips I've learned. I still continue to learn every day, even while watching matches. I learn so much. I see young players playing so well, like they're competing head on with professional players that have had plus like years of experience. The US Open also, I went to watch it, as you can see here. It was an extremely memorable experience for me. Here also I learned that you know, determination is an extremely important factor of this sport. So yeah, I mean, these are some beginner tips, some experiences that I've had in tennis tournaments. Thanks for watching.